Sound in
10
1
seconds.
to sound in 2.
In 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue it.
Thumbs up. Packs up.
And we welcome you back inside the Chevrolet Sports Night here on Spectre News 1. I am Mike Solarte. NASCAR's Cup Series into round 2 of the playoffs, heading off to Las Vegas. One of the 12 drivers still eligible for the
Yeah, he'll be at
title
the
is
touch
joining us
for
tonight.
the
He's currently fourth
end of the
in
show.
standings. He is Joey Logano, driver of the number 22 Ford machine for Penske Racing. Joey, good to see you again.
So I
How's
got
it going?
sound in
As you
3.
headed to Vegas. How you feeling?
And sound
Feeling good.
in
Feeling good.
1
Ready to get out there
for
and,
play of the day.
Try to get another trophy out there and have a solid run in the playoffs at Vegas. It's an important race for a lot of different reasons. It's a crazy round with the Roval and Talladega involved. So Vegas
5 minutes left in pack.
Good race.
Yeah, you won earlier this season, as you mentioned, in Vegas. You got a chance for the season sweep, but you've also alluded to the fact that since the reboot, you haven't won, and you've had a lot of good finishes, but there's just not a victory. But you guys are really, really getting close. It just seems like you're right there each and every week now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We're very close to being exactly where we want to be, and that's what it's about. Their playoffs. You got to be consistent. You can't have bad runs. And you know, first round with a couple third place finishes, and even having some issues at Bristol and still finishing 11th. Those are the things we need to do to get to the next round to put ourselves in position to race for a championship when we get to Phoenix. So. That's what we want to do. Obviously, winning is what we want to do the most, but we can't afford to throw caution to the wind and go for wins or broke at this point. We need to be conscious
4
of
minutes
our
left.
situation and make sure that we maximize each day.
And you touched on it as we got going here, that this is probably the biggest wild card round, not just a race, but the wild card round with the uncertainty of Talladega and then the Roval being thrown in there as well as the cutoff. Does that put more emphasis on this week in particular for you guys?
Yes. You don't know. I mean, and even, you think of what, Las Vegas is at this point, even though we feel like that's the normal racetrack of the three, it's still before wide on these restarts. This high drag, high downforce package that these stock cars have at the mile and a half, it makes restarts unbelievable. And everyone's racing each other so hard to try to maintain track position. All it takes is one little slip up for someone to, barely touch you and knock your left rear fender into a tire and a fender around.
3 minutes left.
Or anything like that takes you out of it. So, as much as we say this is the calm race, I think there's anything wrong still. So, that's why starting up front, staying up front, maintaining that track position throughout the race is going to be key. That on top of just staying on top of the temperature swing. As you guys know, when the sun goes down out in the desert, it's quite the temperature swing that'll really throw us off for a bit of a loop trying to keep up with the racetrack.
Let's kind of shift gears, because I think you and I would agree that Talladega is kind of grip it and hope, and that you can keep your car in one piece. You get through Talladega and you look ahead to the Roval. You've had 2 top 10s there the last 2 years at that racetrack, but how much different is it going into this year's race, because there is no practice, there is no qualifying, you just kind of have to go off of your notes and kind of hope for the best?
You said it. That's exactly off your notes.
Did you do this when you were recording?
Also,
Okay.
we just ripped the Daytona road course, a couple months ago now, which is a very similar road course.
2 minutes
to what
left.
the Roval is here in Charlotte. So, it's a bit of a wild card. Obviously, a lot of things can happen there, but I would expect the same cars that were fast at the Daytona road course will be fast at the Roval. It's a very similar setup. The way the cars are braking, the bumps there is. You way get onto the big racetrack part of it and all that. There's a lot of similarities there. So I would expect that the same cars will be fast. And the good news is that we were competitive there. We weren't quite the winning car, but we were a top 5 car, and that's going to be key when we get there.
Last one for you on the Roval, with that being the cutoff race. We've seen some craziness there. A couple years ago, Jimmy Johnson dove it in there hard into that last turn coming to the start finish and ended up opening the door for Ryan Blaney when he knocked out Martin Truex Jr. for the lead. Do you expect that kind of racing? Do you expect it to be, especially for the guys that might need a win to advance, do you expect it to be for lack of a better
1
word,
minute.
kind of crazy coming down the stretch at the moment?
That's where people do desperate things, right? And that's what this is all about. You know, they put you in a very desperate spot sometimes where you're on the outside looking in, and the only way you can get through is to win the race, and the leader's right there in front of you. You know, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, those are the situations that we get put in as drivers, and we have to
30.
make decisions like that. And not that you ever wreck someone, but the aggressive move and go for it mentality, and there's times that doesn't play out the way you hope it to.
Well, Joey, I hope that when you get to the Roval, you're not in a desperate situation. You don't have to worry about making it into the round of 8, and we get to watch you
Sound
transfer
in 3 is
another
next.
championship in your career. Joey Logano joining us tonight
Stand
here
by.
on Chevrolet Sports Night. Joey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a good one. Appreciate you.
All right, that's Joey Logano joining us here on the Chevrolet Sports Night. Don't go away. Much more to get to, but first, here comes your play of the day.
This is the Chevrolet Play of the Day.
And it's up.
Parker Bergerman rather giving me a break with no White Sox
Whoa,
losing.
what was
by
that?
Rockies and Giants in
What was that?
I don't know.
Short makes a great play at short.
Yeah,
Beats
they
to
are.
his feet and then the throw beats the runner at home. Gotta see the replay to really fully appreciate the replay.
Sound in
I
2
couldn't
next.
say it
Sound
was
in
so
2.
good. Rockies went on to win it in 11 as a direct result of Trevor Story earning our play of the day.
In 3, 2, 1, take a master.
Those were sounds coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, I know. I don't know
All
what.
right, you're